Welcome to New Sky TV Hot Alert. Wang Haozhen x Zhai Yiying, Sweden's swoon-worthy flirting battleground is absolutely captivating. The short drama has only just premiered, and netizens are already swooning over this top-tier chemistry couple, especially last night's iconic scene of shaking arms and acting cute plus kissing and running away, making people wonder, did the director secretly plant a romance right before our eyes? Wang Haozhen was originally the most composed and calm one on set, the type who could calmly drink water even when everyone else was making a ruckus. But then, this crazy girl named Zhai Yiying came near, and his entire defenses crumbled like paper. During a break in filming, she suddenly rushed over, grabbed his arm, and shook it from side to side. Wang Haozhen, I'm so tired from filming today. What should I do? That tone, that voice, those smiling eyes, it was simply a deadly weapon. The staff were stunned, the assistant almost burst out laughing, and Wang Haozhen's reaction was even more explosive. He froze, his ears turned bright red, and his soul seemed to have been forcibly shut down. Netizens frantically typed, "The unattainable is always more desirable." He wasn't just moved, he was completely smitten. Zhai Yiying is blatantly flirting. But the most thrilling part wasn't the coquettishness. It was, Zhai Yiying suddenly gave him a light kiss, and then ran away. Director. Cinematographer. Wang Haozhen, he was completely stunned, like he'd been struck by lightning. In that instant, his eyes seemed to hold exploding fireworks. He was completely bewildered by her advances, yet he chased after her willingly. Everyone calls him a curious and composed male lead, but in Zhai Yiying's world, he completely transformed into a fawn swept away by a whirlwind. Netizens were abuzz with discussion. This isn't a drama, it's a real-life romance. Kiss and run? Who could resist that? One dared to flirt, the other was breathless from being flirted with. Even more outrageous, in later behind-the-scenes footage, the two were resting, and Zhai Yiying was secretly observing his reaction. Wang Haozhen was looking down at his script, seemingly calm, but his ears were burning red. She smiled like a triumphant little fox, gently kicking him. The look he gave her was so tender it could melt anyone's heart. The entire internet exploded. This ambiguity, this flutter, this eye contact, it's totally at the level of a romance, not officially announcing it is disrespectful to the audience. Please keep this crazy, direct approach. I could watch another 10,000 episodes. Sweet in the drama, even sweeter off-screen, ambiguous in the drama, but the behind-the-scenes footage is simply divine. If Wang Haozhen is a calm, deep sea, then Zhai Yiying is a small light that stumbles into the deep sea, silent yet deadly, shattering the softest part of his heart into ripples. Now, only one question remains across the internet: this flirting, this tension, this heart-pounding realism. Do you think they're just engaging in their roles, or have sparks already ignited in real life? The buzz surrounding last night's behind-the-scenes footage hasn't died down yet, and today their interaction has once again sent netizens trending. You thought the kiss and run scene was exciting enough? No, what's truly captivating is the subsequent catch and run counterattack. According to crew members, after filming the kiss and run scene, the director requested a reshoot of an even more intimate shot. Just as everyone was about to return to their positions, Zhai Yiying suddenly approached like a little wildcat, placing a hand on Wang Haozhen's shoulder and raising an eyebrow. Were you scared just now? Wang Haozhen's script immediately tilted to one side, his gaze filled with a hint of helplessness, yet also a subtle unyielding spirit. The next second, no one expected, he suddenly reached out and grabbed Zhai Yiying's wrist, gently pulling it. The two instantly became extremely close, so close they could hear each other breathing. The entire set fell silent, as if a mute button had been pressed. Zhai Yiying's eyes widened, clearly not expecting his counterattack to be so swift and ruthless. But Wang Haozhen didn't let go. He even lowered his head slightly, his voice so low it was almost whispered in her ear. "Scared me? What do you think?" The director almost couldn't yell cut. The cameraman's hands trembled so much he nearly dropped the camera, and the entire set froze. Netizens exploded with reactions. "Oh no, he's even more deadly than her when he flirts back. This is so much like a real couple's battle of wits. Crazy guy x abstinent guy, I'm bowing down to this couple." Even more incredible was that later, Zhai Yiying thought he was just acting, but after filming wrapped, he walked up to her and whispered, "You ran pretty fast today. Next time we film the same scene, will you still run?" This one sentence sent fans' hearts pounding even harder than the plot itself. She paused, her earlobes turning a subtle red, but she stubbornly raised her chin. Then you can talk to me after you've won me over. Wang Haozhen hesitated for 2 seconds, then chuckled softly, a laugh like a wolf that had been lying in wait for a long time, finally awakened. The staff immediately commented, "This isn't acting, this is them setting each other off." What drove netizens wild the most was the interview the next day. The reporter asked, "What was your first impression of each other?" Zhai Yiying answered lightly and frankly, "He's easy to flirt with." Everyone waited for Wang Haozhen's reaction. He paused for 2 seconds, glanced at her, and said casually, Once you've flirted with her, don't run away." Instantly, Weibo, short video platforms, and forums were all flooded with comments. Is this ambiguity? This is love. Every time they talk, it's like they're trying to devour each other. Please, just announce it already. Flirting wildly on screen, bickering off screen, and the sweetness of behind-the-scenes footage is off the charts. One is like fire, the other like the deep sea, yet they collide to create the most dangerous and captivating chemistry. Now, the only suspense online is, it was a rain scene filmed that day. Zhai Yiying's clothes were soaked, her hair dripping wet. She looked like a little ink fairy stepping out of a painting. Wang Haozhen stood to the side holding an umbrella, supposedly resting, but he kept secretly watching her. The staff whispered gossip, "What's wrong with him today?" His eyes are glued to her, just as everyone was whispering. Suddenly, Zhai Yiying stepped on the slippery ground, stumbled, and almost fell. Before anyone could react, Wang Haozhen had already rushed forward and grabbed her waist. The action was so fast, so natural, so overflowing with protectiveness. Their chests pressed together, their breaths mingling. Zhai Yiying looked up and saw the raindrops dripping from his forehead, and the panicked yet heartbroken emotions in his eyes. The director behind the monitor was stunned. Why do I feel like I'm watching an idol drama? Even more devastating was what happened next. After regaining her balance, Zhai Yiying patted her chest and laughed, saying, "That scared me to death. I thought I was going to fall and hurt myself." Wang Haozhen frowned, his voice so low it seemed to melt into the rain. "Don't run like that again." She froze. "Are you being mean to me?" His Adam's apple bobbed, and he suddenly leaned closer, whispering in her ear, "It's not being mean, it's..." I was worried. Everyone around, "Oh no, this couple is amazing, this sweetness is illegal." Netizens screamed wildly in the comments and bullet screen, the waist-hugging scene in the rain. I could watch it 100 times. Wang Haozhen couldn't hold back anymore. His reaction was so real. Flirting during the day, hugging in the rain. Are these two really not dating? And then came the climactic scene. After wrapping up, the two walked back to the rest area together. The photographer casually snapped a shot. Yiying shivered from the cold. Wang Haozhen glanced at her, took off his coat, and draped it over her shoulders. Even more impressive, fearing her rejection, he gently pressed her shoulder down in a way that wouldn't let her push him away, ensuring the coat landed smoothly. Zhai Yiying looked up, a slight smile playing on her lips, like a little fox who had caught a secret. She whispered, "You're so good to me. Be careful I don't take it seriously." Wang Haozhen almost instantly stopped in his tracks. He turned his head, looking at her, his eyes filled with a restrained tenderness and a hint of danger. He calmly replied, "Then what should I do?" "Take it seriously too." The entire internet exploded. Comments flooded across major platforms. "This dialogue is sweeter than the script. Is he in his confession preparation phase? I'm hooked. Please get married right now." As this protracted flirting war intensified, every viewer's heart was in their throat. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.